Hello, my brothers and my sisters. I believe in God the Father. I believe in Christ the Son. I believe in the Holy Spirit. Our God is three in one. This is Brother Billy back again with another video. Want to react to Miss Candace Owens um on tonight. It's tonight for me. And titled this one, If It Doesn't Fit, You Must Acquit Tyler Robinson, the Patsy. You remember that infamous quote by the late Johnny Cochran. And so I'm gonna go ahead and open up with, I mean, a lot of people got their different beliefs about O.J. Simpson, whether or not he, killed Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown, Nicole Simpson. Well, I'm not gonna relitigate all of that. But the famous quote from Johnny Cochran was, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Let's just listen at that and then we'll go into more of this Tyler Robinson. Why this is relevant to Tyler Robinson's case.
Like the defining moment in this trial, the day Mr. Darden asked Mr. Simpson to try on those gloves, and the gloves didn't fit. Remember these words: if it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The day, Johnny said, the day that they asked Mr. Simpson to try on them gloves. To me, I watched that case from pretty much from start to finish, and that, to me, that was a turning point. No pun intended. When they asked him to try them gloves on, and he struggled to put they struggled to fit. They didn't fit. They did not fit too well. I mean, I'm not trying to relitigate that case, but they didn't fit too well. That was a bad mistake to ask him to try on those gloves. Now, had they fit like a glove, so to speak, man, he probably would have got convicted. But the fact that everybody was able to witness those the gloves that you all say the killer had, O.J. Simpson had, must have grown from that. It just wasn't a good look. And he came up with that famous quote: "If it doesn't fit, juror, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit." Well, it didn't fit, and guess what they did? They acquitted him. Well, now we fast forward to years now, and now we're looking at the case of Tyler Robinson. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Well, they just came out with a report from the ATF talking about the ballistic as it relates to this 30-06 gun and the bullet or the fragments, that they just can't seem to match up with the gun. Now that's an O.J. Simpson moment right there. You got a gun and you got a bullet, and the gun that the FBI says is the gun that the killer used to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Well, the problem is the bullet that's found, the fragments or whatever they found in Charlie Kirk, doesn't match the gun. It doesn't match. Which means it don't fit. Tyler must be acquitted. I mean, it's really just that plain and simple. In other words, you know the implications behind this? I mean, it's really not shocking to us. Those of us who have eyes to see, who are not, been, just eating the fed slop, we not shocked that it doesn't fit. Because from the get-go, we were like, I'm not no gun person at all. I know much or little about. I know little or nothing about guns. But since I don't know that much about guns, I listen to people who do know about guns, and I kind of take their expertise into consideration. And just knowing the distance that they say the gun was shot from, knowing how powerful this 30-06 is, listening at several different people who I trust, on YouTube, not the Fed. And they're like, nah, this thing would have went through, and then following Candace, and we're gonna look at Candace's report and see, how that video she got from the back where the thing should have went through. If it was a 30-06, there's no way Charlie's neck would have stopped this bullet from going through. And so now we got a big issue going on. Because the Fed told us Tyler used a 30-06. ATF comes and said, look at here. We can't confirm this here now. We corrupt. We might be corrupt too, but we ain't going this far. And now we got a mess on our hand. We got not a mess. We got daylight. We got light shining through. Because so many of us know that Tyler Robinson didn't use a 30-06. So many of us believe Tyler Robinson probably didn't even, pull the trigger if it was a trigger. Definitely don't believe that this is some lone gunman. No, we just common people using common sense know that this is not you just got to use common sense to know that this case stinks to high heaven. Absolutely stinks to high heaven that something's not right. I mean, you just have to look at all the inconsistency. Put your biases aside. Put your hate for Candace, your love for Erica. Just set all that aside and just look at the evidence that has been presented to us, and just ask yourself just common questions and just be like, be reasonable, be logical, be honest. Just for example, just say, why did they pave over the area Charlie got assassinated at like a few days later? I mean, it's so many things you could go through and be like, if you go through the evidence that has been presented, not by the feds, that's slop. I'm talking about evidence, like Candace Owens and Baron Coleman and people who giving us evidence. And you go through that stuff, there's no way you can come to the conclusion that this is the Tyler Robinson did this. Definitely did this alone. You just couldn't come to that conclusion. Because like I said, they paved over the where Charlie got assassinated days later. That Terrell fella took the SD card out of the camera that was right behind Charlie, saying that the police told him to do it, and they were worried about people stealing, the camera. You worried about people stealing the camera, but you took out the SD card. I mean, just it's so many things that went down that makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, don't want to sound offensive, but you really have to shut your brains off and not think in order to agree with the feds on Tyler Robinson doing this alone. You got to shut your brains off. You really do. And I'm just pleading with you to turn your brains back on. That's why God gave it to you. That's why He gave me my own brain. He gave your own brain so you can think for yourself. Don't let me think for you. Don't let Candace think for you. Don't let nobody think. Think for yourself. Don't let the feds think for you. Don't let the FBI Cash Patel think for you. Okay, so if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's what Johnny said. the ATF expert again that they brought in says this thing don't match the fragments, the bullet, the leftovers, or whatever they took out of Charlie neck does not fit, does not match the gun. Doesn't match the gun. And on top of that, you got like 6 other people DNA on the gun that supposedly belongs to Tyler Robinson, granddad, whoever. But you got all these other people DNA, because that's what Cash. We found the DNA evidence. The DNA was on the gun, and again, when we use our brains, if the FBI came to my house and they got my gun, will y'all be shocked if they said we found Billy's gun? We got Billy's gun from wherever. The gun belongs to Billy White, and his DNA was on the gun. So, and somebody got shot with this gun. So we know it was Billy. Why? Because his DNA is on the gun. Duh. It's my gun. Of course my DNA would be on the gun. But just because my DNA is on the gun, that doesn't make me guilty of murdering somebody. But that's what they want you to believe. Tyler Robinson, his DNA was on the gun. Well, what about them other 6 people whose DNA is on the gun? All 6 of them pulled the trigger. See, when you start using your brains, when we start just thinking for ourselves, then just ask God, Lord, help me to think and reason and not just be pulled into these psyops, these mind control games that's going on, Lord. Help me, Lord, to just think rational. You'll see that doesn't mean nothing because his DNA is on the gun. It's his gun. Now, this a complete stranger's gun, a gun, and your DNA is on some stranger's gun. Now, may not. Now you got some questions to answer. But it's your gun. But they ain't telling us nothing but them other people's DNA that they found on the gun. You notice that? You notice that? Why is them other people's DNA on the gun? I'll give you my belief. Maybe because them other people's DNA is on Tyler Robinson's gun, his granddaddy's gun that he got from his granddaddy. Maybe their DNA is on it because they planted the gun. What about that? Those people planted the gun at the crime scene. Maybe that's a possibility. That's why the bomb dogs couldn't find nothing. You know, you say when you shoot that gun, they got that power, whatever that comes from the gun. That the bomb dogs, they can sniff that out. They couldn't find it. The bomb dog didn't find the gun. You know that? They didn't find it. Somebody else found the gun. Some human person found the gun. Not the dog, not the bomb dog who can sniff out that thing like it's no tomorrow. They didn't find it. Why? Because it's probably, in my opinion, this is my opinion. Maybe because it was planted. Maybe that's why all them other people's DNA was on the gun. Because they were handling the gun. They planted the gun. Mm-hmm. That's the way it's looking to me. How is it looking to you? Oh, we gonna, by the grace of God, we gonna solve this. By the grace of Almighty God, who knows exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk, who knows exactly who's involved, he knows exactly what you did. Now, y'all can hide things from we the people. You can't hide nothing from God. Absolutely nothing from him. You can't hide nothing from him. He sees it all. There's nothing hidden from him. There's nothing that can be hidden from him. And what he wants to make known, he'll make it known. And he is making it known that Tyler Robinson did not do this. And many of us were suspecting it from the get-go. Now, let's get to Candace. Let's get to Miss Candace Owens. Candace gonna tell us, gonna run through what she, we looking at the ballistics and the ATF, and then she gonna point out something else that's very interesting, that she gonna help the defense out. She's gonna help the defense team out, because obviously they look like they might need a little help from Miss Candace Owens, because they're overlooking a whole lot of stuff. So Candace gonna help them out and let us know why. I mean, it's looking like Tyler is a patsy. Meaning Tyler was set up. That's how it's looking. It's looking like they set him up. Do y'all understand? I'm about to play this, but do y'all understand if it's true that Tyler Robinson is a patsy? As Christians now, we supposed to be God. One of the attributes of God is he's righteous. His judgments are righteous. So as Christians, we're supposed to imitate God, meaning my judgment must be righteous. If I'm going to make a judgment on somebody or against somebody, that judgment must be righteous, must be just. It has to be a just judgment. Well, if Tyler Robinson is a patsy and they're trying to convict him of killing Charlie Kirk, and if he's convicted, you know what they want to do to him, right? Not just put him in prison for the rest of his life. They want to kill him. They want the death penalty. So they want to kill a potentially just person, just meaning he did not do the crime that he's being charged with. That would be unjust, to charge him with a crime that he did not commit, and then turn around and put him to death. And you put your stamp of approval on that as a Christian? Oh, no. 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 I'm not saying Tyler Robinson is some little angel. Tyler Robinson is a saint. Tyler Robinson is, just this goody two-shoe person. I'm not saying none of that. None of that. All that's irrelevant. Did he do or commit the crime he's being charged with? Yes or no? If he did, then, well, if he gets convicted and they got the death penalty in the state he did it all, and he gets convicted and condemned to die, oh well, pray that God have mercy on you, Tyler. That's all I can say. But if you didn't do that, that is unjust. That's unjust. That's pure wicked and pure evil. Even for a Christian to put their stamp of approval on that. So you got to be careful. You better be careful about you wanting this person to be convicted of something he didn't do. Because that's sure the way it's looking. You got to be careful about that. That is very unjust. Okay, let's listen to Miss Candace Owens. Candace is going to take it away and let us know how this thing is looking shadier and shadier every time a stone get unturned. It's looking shadier and shadier.
Here is actually the craziest part of the filing that I don't think anybody noticed. Okay, everybody's talking about the ATF, but the devil is always in the details. The feds are always in the details, okay? Now, I'm going to read this. Regarding the firearm evidence, the defense has been provided with an ATF summary. Again, just a summary report, which indicates that the ATF was unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson. Although the state has not indicated an intent to produce this report at the preliminary hearing, the defense may very well decide to offer the testimony of the ATF firearm analyst as exculpatory evidence. Okay, so they met, they conferred, And they're like, okay, we haven't even received, we got a summary that like this is not matching, but we want to see the whole report. We want to see how they got there because the report will show us how they conducted this. We'll actually be able to see that bullet fragment. How big is, I don't know. We know nothing. And then Erica's team comes in, the state comes in, they're like, it doesn't matter. We're not even going to bring up the ATF thing. So you have our word. So we're good. They're like, well, first of all, why aren't you bringing that up? And it's not about whether you're good. It's about whether we're good, because that's pretty exculpatory for us. If, the gun does not fit, you must acquit. This is the purpose of a preliminary hearing, is to get a judge to just unilaterally dismiss something as an option.
Right. Johnny, if the gun and the bullet doesn't fit, you must acquit Tyler. You know what she said? Erica's team came in and was like, nah, don't even worry about all that right there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Do y'all not see how y'all can't see how just fishy Erica, Kirk, Tyler, Andrew, the amazing, the wonderful, the magnificent Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff. Y'all don't see how even Frank Turk, how fishy all these people seem to be. They all, in my opinion, I'll go be on record. I'm on record. I'll get on record again. In my opinion, they all knew. They knew. They knew. They knew about Charlie. They did. That's my opinion. They knew. And like Candace gonna point out, it's for money. Candace said this from the beginning, that Charlie was betrayed. Charlie came to her in that dream, you remember that? And they like, oh my, that dream. Charlie coming to her in a dream. Oh, this is so demonic, and just demonic. Everything is demonic. Everything demonic, except what they're doing to try to convict and to have murdered, have killed Tyler Robinson for a crime he didn't commit. That's not demonic. But because Charlie came to Candace and said that he was betrayed, and every day that goes by, it's looking like what Candace said is true. Making you look like the fool. Making you look like the one played. Mm-hmm.
So what's up with that? Why are you not giving it? They're like, oh, because we're going to do some other testing down the line. Here's where it gets crucial. Pay attention. Look alive. Okay.
Don't target weak women. They target the fixers who are trained by toxic.
It goes on and it says, in order to make this determination, it is necessary for the defense and its firearm expert to review the ATF case file and the protocols relating to this examination, which have not yet been provided. The state has also indicated that the FBI is in the process of conducting a second comparative bullet analysis, as well as a bullet lead analysis, that these analyses are not yet complete. Okay, pay attention, Tyler Robinson's defense team. I'm about to help you out in a big way.
So Candace is calling not the FBI, calling Tyler Robinson's team to listen up. She's about to help them out, because she helped me out, because I definitely was not aware of none of this what she's about to bring forth about, you got the FBI wanting to do some kind of other analysis on this, what the ATF say they couldn't find. The FBI about to do their own little investigation into why. Candace gonna let us know why the FBI gonna do their own little investigation.
Told you that, you conferred. They said, okay, don't worry, we got it. We got this. We're going to do a secondary thing with the feds. And like me, I'm nosy. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? The ATF is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. If they couldn't do it, what extra power does the FBI have it do it? If the firearm people can't do it, why is this going to the FBI? So I said,
and you got to think about what she's saying. Which, remember, logic, common sense. Put emotions aside, put personal animosity, personal feelings about Turning Point, Candace, whoever. Just put all that aside and just listen at what she's saying, and then just use logic and common sense. If the ATF has conducted an analysis on the gun and the fragments or the bullets, right? These are the experts. They are the experts of experts, right? So if they can't find, if they did not find that it matched, the fragments matched the gun, they like inconclusive. We can't say that this is out of this gun. Inconclusive. What does the FBI have that would enable them to do their analysis and says, oh yes it does. Well yes it does match. It does match. It's a perfect match. What? Because you know that's what's gonna happen if the FBI goes in and do their own analysis. They're gonna come back with, oh well, yeah, it does match. But the expert said it's conclusive. The FBI gonna come back and say, it's a perfect match. It's a type. Do y'all not see that would be suspicious and kind of funky business?
what is a comparative bullet lead analysis? What is that? I need to know things. I like to learn. And lo and behold, we find out that the CBLA, the compositional analysis, is a discontinued forensic technique that analyzed trace elements, copper, arsenic, in lead to link crime scene bullets to suspects. It was primarily used by the FBI from the 1980s until 2004, but it was then abandoned in 2005 due to flawed scientific, statistical, and interpretive validity. Wait, they just continued this like 20 years ago, 21 years ago, because they said it was flawed? And sure enough, Skylar starts looking through and he's like, yeah, no, the innocence, the people have been freed because of how flawed this was. They literally put the wrong people in prison using this technology until it became so obvious that nobody would even stand trial and back it anymore. So they just got rid of this analysis. It's been gone for 20 years. Wake up, Tyler Robinson's defense team. I know it's a lot going on, 600,000 files. This is them telling you they're going to make this bullet fit no matter what. The feds will do it. If ATF isn't going to be corrupt, we'll be corrupt. And they've been corrupt since the beginning of this. Look at this news clip explaining further why and how this technique that they're now going to employ got discredited historically and is no longer in use. Here are the reasons why it got discredited. Take a listen to this local Atlanta news clip.
FBI agents swore by it in courtrooms across America for decades, a type of forensic science called bullet lead analysis.
This was used in thousands of cases and hundreds of trials, but the FBI stopped using it over flaws in the science. Now at least one man is free as another fights for his freedom. National investigative reporter Chris Nakamoto looks into the tainted testimony.
It was definitely a shock to the whole community.
In 1991, 45-year-old Norma Jean Yates was found inside this home, shot to death 7 times. The house set on fire.
She deserved better than that.
Her death, a defining event in the life of her husband, Jimmy Yates, because 6 years later, a jury convicted him of her murder. It's his first sit-down interview after being released in 2021.
Did you kill your wife?
No. I've maintained it all these years.
Police found a bullet in his vehicle, which they said matched the lead and bullets at the crime scene. That science the jury trusted when it ultimately convicted Yates, no longer used by the FBI. When a weapon is missing or a bullet too damaged, the FBI claimed at the time their science could match bullets to ammunition through the lead alone. Our national investigative team found the FBI admitted to using this science in 2,500 cases, and it was introduced in hundreds of trials across America. But in 2005, the FBI pulled the plug on this practice. Their admission, neither scientists nor bullet manufacturers are able to definitively attest to the significance of an association made between bullets in the course of a bullet lead examination.
They discontinued this because not even the scientists or the bullet manufacturers would testify that that made any sense. Not even the scientists or the bullet manufacturers. We don't know how you're doing this. You're just saying that you have some special scientific technique that the scientists are saying is not so scientific, and the bullet manufacturers saying, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And so they just quietly stopped doing that.
So y'all, so you understand how many? They just said they use that thing in like over 2,500 cases. This supposed technology, but it's flawed. People in so. You know how much people are probably in prison because of this so-called technology or this analysis that the FBI has done on bullets, on the lead? There are a lot of innocent people in prison right now for crimes they didn't do based on this analysis that they want to use on Tyler Robinson, the FBI. That's pure evil. If this what they revert back to using or doing, and Candace already pointed it out that's the FBI is going to do their own little analysis, but what are they going to do? Well, they're going to dust off, like you said, this old technology so they can convict Tyler Robinson.
In 2005. But guess what, guys? Cash's boys are going to dust that off, pull it back, because ATF probably said, a little too obvious and corrupt for us. Okay, best we can do, we're the feds, we're the Fed boys, love you, but can we give you an inconclusive? Can we just say inconclusive? It probably doesn't even match. Inconclusive is the best I can do as your homie. You guys are on your own if you're going to be that corrupt, despite this history of the strategy being corrupt. Because scientists, and you put a lot of people in jail wrongly, and the feds are like, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put somebody in jail wrongly. So that's what we're doing. We need to bring back the technique that's been discontinued for 20 years. Incredible. Bombshell. Should be on the cover of every mainstream news, reporting that the FBI is bringing back an already debunked technique so that they can give Erica the evidence she needs to connect this gun, which hasn't even been fired, to Tyler Robinson. Again, ignore the people that are telling you over and over again that his prints are on his gun. That's common sense, people. If somebody comes to my house and steals a gun, it's going to have me and George's prints on it and DNA on it, because our prints carry oil, and that's our DNA. It does not mean that we then took this gun and killed somebody.
Right.
You got to connect the bullet. You got to connect the person. You got to conduct these tests to make sure they fired a weapon. They're doing none of that. All they're doing is spending an offensive amount of money on PR for people to convince you that this is an open and shut case, and it's not even open. It shouldn't even be open. Okay, I am just so stunned that they're doing this. I can't even believe how openly corrupt the feds are being. Please, guys, in your capacity, share this, share that portion that they are bringing back. Make it viral. Okay, the feds are so corrupt. Truly, I am fed up, literally fed up. Federal Bureau of Investigation, we have had enough, okay?
Hey, man. I'm with Candace. I am absolutely fed up with this type of corruption. And one of the things I'll say in closing is this. As a supporter, as a supporter of President Donald Trump, I still like President Donald Trump. What's this? Let me show you this right here. This is my Make America Great Again hat. See that right there? That's his signature. He took this hat. Me and my wife and my daughter was at one of his rallies in Colombia, and at the end of his rally, he walked by. He came by us, and he took this hat off of my head and signed it. That's his signature right there. That's authentic, and he signed his hat. This is authentic. That is Donald Trump's signature right there. He took this hat off of my head, signed it, put it back on it, and patted me on the shoulder. And took the other one off of my daughter's head and patted her. And so I've been a fan of Donald Trump. I voted for him 3 times. Yes, I did. I still like a whole lot of his policies. I'm against this Iran invasion. But this is why I brought him up. He is the. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, he is the chief law enforcement officer. He is the president. Kash Patel works under him. And so, with that being said, as much as I like him, I can't just have my head stuck in the sand as if to say like he ain't got a clue of what's going on. I can't be that naive. As Kash Patel's boss, if Kash Patel is doing this type of corrupt things to convict Tyler Robinson, how can I, in good conscience, even though I like President Trump, how can I say he has nothing to do with that though? His hands are, clean. You remember how Pilate said, I'm washing my hands of this. I ain't got nothing to do with this man innocent. I'm washing my hands of this. This is on y'all. This killing of Jesus is gonna be on y'all. I'm washing my hand of this. Is President Trump saying he's washing his hand and he ain't got nothing? No, he's the president. He's the president, so he can't just. The same way Pilate couldn't just wash his hand and he kind of be something guiltless. President Trump can't just wash his hand and be guiltless. He's the president. He could stop this corruption. He could fire Kash Patel. He could stop this corruption. And the very fact that it's still going on, that just gives me the prayers. You ain't involved in this, is it? Oh, prayers. I just want to have faith in you because I really do like you. I really do. So all I can say is, the Bible does say pray for those in authority. So I continue to pray for President Trump. And if he is going down these corrupt paths, and God is able to bring him back, snatch him back, turn him back around, there's still hope. He still got breath in his body, so there's still hope. All right. That's what Brother Billy wanted to say. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Tyler Robinson, he is a patsy. He's not guilty of what he's being charged with. And because of that, there's no way as Christians we can put our stamp of approval on that. You just can't put your stamp of approval on that. To have an innocent person condemned. We're coming up on Easter. You know, Jesus was innocent. And they concocted some crimes and a trial, a fake trial, a show trial. The same thing they're about to do with Tyler Robinson. Give us a show trial, a fake trial, false witnesses, false accusations, false testimonies, false evidence. to convict him of death. Jesus was convicted to die for something he did not do. That is wicked. That's evil. And when Israel did that, when they did that, years later, 70 AD took place. Just like Jesus said, not one stone would be standing upon another that shall not be thrown down, torn down. They burned the temple, they burned Jerusalem to the ground. Why? Because an innocent man, a man they knew was innocent, they convicted him to die. Y'all know Tyler Robinson is innocent. You cannot convict an innocent person to die, especially when you know they are innocent. That is unforgivable. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's an unforgivable sin, but that's a sin that will not go unpunished. That will not go unpunished by God, because that is pure evil and pure wickedness. Okay, so Christians, I'm talking to you. Be careful how you put your stamp of approval on what Erica Kirk is trying to. She want a speedy trial. You remember she wanted to speed this up. Speed it up, meaning let's hurry up and get him convicted. And he's convicted. What are they trying to do? What do they want to do to him, Christians? They want to kill him. So Erica wants to speed up his death sentence. Yet, I forgive him. That man. Our Lord on the cross. Our Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That man, I forgive him. I forgive him, but I'm ready for him to die. And even though he didn't do what he's being convicted of, I'm ready to just get this over, because the heat is getting turned up on me. That's wicked. That's evil. I don't care how you slice and dice it. All right. Y'all be blessed. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. See you again on the next one. Brother Billy is out.